Right, okay, what I'm going to do today is a comparison test. But first, with the Iconics, I've got to zero it into the 5p here. You can see a 5p piece, and what I've done, I put it down, circled it off, so the inside edge of that circle is the 5p. So that's a 0 card for the Iconics, and here is it's going to be a 10 shot on each rifle, and it's going from my most expensive rifle. When I first bought the Beeman, which was $299, and now it's 300 and something, and of course the Iconics. So this is going to be a comparison test of 10 shots each. Okay, so that's what I'm doing today. should be a bit of fun. Right, this is going to be the comparison test. We've got the Iconics, we have the Beeman, and we have the Crown. I'll be shooting the Iconics first, just to get 0, and then that'll be the last one to shoot the group. The first one will be the Crown, second the Beeman, and then of course the Iconics third. 10 shot group, and we'll see what the outcome is. Right, good morning. I'm just going to zero the Iconics in, and then we get on with this comparison test. This is the card for the comparison test. So once the Iconic is zeroed onto the 5p, we can then get on with the test, and the Crown will be shooting first. So really what I'm doing is the most expensive rifle down to the lowest end, which is the Iconics. So the Beeman sits in the middle, and really when you think about it, there's £100 difference in each one. The Crown, $399. When I bought it, it was about $379, $75, something like that. But now today's price is $399.95. When I bought the Beeman, it was $299, and now it's $300 and something. So you could say £100 in between them two. And then the Iconics, $189. So you can say £100 almost lower than the Beeman. So let's see what the difference is in the quality, in a way of money wise. Right, okay, cigarette keeps going out, so we'll get on with this. Yeah, okay, I think that's okay. As I say, I just want to, I'll take the caps off because I want to zero this into the 5p before we start the comparison test. I don't think this should be all that much out, but we never know. So that's it. Okay, safety's off. Right, I'm going to take the first shot. And that's in the ball. Or under the 5p, whatever way you want to look at it. That's in, right on the edge though. That's 3 in. That's 4 in. That's 5 in. It's all going in virtually the same hole now. It's 6. It's 7. Now it could come over to the left a little bit. Maybe a little bit too much there. And that was the last shot, and they was all under the 5p. And that was a tight group. Right, okay, so I'm going to stop this camera. And turn it off, because this is going to be the last one to shoot. I'll go and change the card now. Right, okay, so I've changed the card, and this is the 0 card, just one outside it. See that? And that's with the Iconics. The main group you can see, and then I altered the scope to the left a bit. And that single shot to the left, but you can see how small that group is, and that's the Iconics with a heavy trigger. Well pleased. So for those people that think the Iconics is a bag of nails, that proves it's not. That proves it's not. So I've got a magazine here of 10 for the Iconics when we shoot again. I'm with the Beeman, so the Beeman magazine. Let's turn the scope on first, I think. Right, okay, so the Beeman, the Crow is the top target there, and then that's the Beeman, and then that's the Iconics. Right. Oh, good. Record. I repeat myself what I just said. Top target is the the Crow. Middle is the Beeman, and the bottom will be for the Iconics. It's going to be 12 shots with the Crow and Beeman, and 10 shots with the Iconics. So this is the starting of the comparison test. Yeah, it'd be very interesting. Right, okay. Safety's off. That's the first one. I won't count, I'll just keep on shooting. And that was it. That was 12 shots. Yeah, very tight group. Way under that 5p piece. Right, I can stop this video. Turn the scope off. Right, okay, so that was very good. I'll go and get the Beeman up. Oh yeah, before I started this test, I did fill all the rifles up to their maximum level, so they're not even on the sweet spot yet. So you can see how they're shooting. Well, saw how the Krell shot. Turn the scope on. Yeah, I can just make that out, that's okay. I just finished my cigarette and then I start recording. So these are now the Crown magazine. Let's start recording first. I can't see the button for the, I can't see the record. That's strange. I just can't see the record. Oh right, okay. Isn't it? No. Oh, I'm frozen. Hang on. I have to turn off again. Right, it's recording. Okay, so there's the Krell. So this is now the Beeman. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so first one's in, safety's off. And it's dead centre of the ball. A little bit low on that one. think this might be the last shot. Yeah. So as you can see, very similar to the Crow, and the Beeman's £100 cheaper. Very tight group, all under the 5p piece. Very good, eh? Alright, now back to the Iconics. Right, stop the video. Turn the scope off. Yeah. I forgot who asked me to do a comparison test. That's right. Yeah, I'm just setting up the camera. Okay. Right, okay. As I say, I forgot who asked me a few weeks ago. Someone said about it'd be interesting to see a comparison test on your rifles. This is before I got this one. So, right, start the video. Oh, that's a camera. Right, that's the video, that's recording. Okay. Right, it's in, loaded, safety's off. So now we're going to go for the Iconics bullseye. And let's hope I get similar results to that. I moved on that one, but it still went in. If anything, it could come down a fraction. And that is a heavy trigger on this. And that was 10 shots. Well, for £100 cheaper than the Beeman and £200 cheaper than the Crow, this little Iconics is doing a fantastic job. That's all under the 5p piece, every single one. The Crow could be a tighter group. Of course, running up would be the Beeman and the Iconics. But when you think about it, they're all similar. Right, I'm going to stop the video. And I go down there and bring the target up. I'm very, very pleased about how they all shot. Wow. Very, very good. Oh. Top one is the Crow, middle is the Beeman, and the bottom is the Iconics. Yes, the Crow is a tighter group, but then it's got the lightest trigger and the better scope. The Beeman has got quite a lot of travel in the trigger. Slightly heavy, not all that, but slightly heavy, and that's a tight group, and the scope is much cheaper than the Zulus, so that was with the Saitong scope. The Icon is with the Hawk 2x7 by 32 scope with a camera attachment, also with a very, very heavy trigger. So when I did say the other day this Iconics would be a great beginner's gun for newcomers, whatever, you can't argue with the price when you're getting results like that. So from just under a £400 rifle down to under a £200 rifle, you're getting virtually the same results, and you can't argue with that. I had a couple of on a shoot Saturday. I was looking at the comments, and of course people are right. I was holding the I wasn't actually holding the trigger, but my finger was on the trigger. When the camera went off, I did do a dry fire to see how heavy the trigger was, and it was really heavy. So there weren't no harm for me when I was breaking it to have my finger resting on that trigger. A, the safety was kicking in, and B, the triggers was very heavy, so there were no mishaps. But it's still a bad habit of mine of virtually touching the trigger. As I say, my hands, they cramp up. I've got broken fingers on this one. You can see the two middles, and this one is really well, it just gets stiff and cramps. So I find it more comfortable for me to shoot how I shoot. You know, maybe that's a poor excuse for some of you, but that's the way it is. Of course, with the crowel, I would have to be very, very careful when I'm cocking it with my finger almost on that trigger, because that is a light trigger. Yeah, so I have got finger control all the time when I'm touching the gun. And as to the Uzi, I was talking to the guy yesterday, Mr. Fairchild, and as I said before, he is a collector of replicas, Umarex replicas, and he had 2 of them sent by different companies, so he got them for nothing. And seeing he's watched every single video of mine, he thought it would be a good idea to give me one. Now, whether I won or lost, that gun was going to be mine anyway. This is what the man said. Yeah, I just had to switch cameras over. This one, which I was filming on, just cut out because the storage was full, so I'm hoping I haven't lost that footage. Anyway, as I say, Mr. Fairchild said win or lose you was going to have it anyway, because he had 2 and it was unnecessary. He didn't need 2 of them of the same type. He said, yes, you're right about they're not good for shooting. They are all over the place, but even so, it was a nice gesture on his part. In fact, as we was talking, I remembered him from way back, and he don't live all that far away from me, so he knew where I lived. And as I say, he was the first subscriber to the channel. But to give me a rifle, just unbelievable. Although as he said, it's not a kind of rifle you would go out and shoot with, because it is like a machine gun. The pellets go everywhere like a shotgun. And when I was shooting that Saturday, I don't know whether you saw the elevation I had on it. And what I was doing, I aimed at the target and lifted the rifle up, so it made that distance. And as I say, it was sheer luck on my part that the pellets was landing near to or almost on the target area. Now, the only thing I could see from here down at the bottom was a very small white mark, and that was the playing card, and that white mark was where I was aiming at. So all those pellets, what I shot was just sheer luck. Anybody could have done it. There weren't no skill involved. Anybody could have done that, because you're aiming at something and lifting the rifle up, elevating it up, so the pellets are arching down, and it so happens I was lucky that it hit the cardboard and playing card. So once again, Mr. Fairchild, I thank you very much, and hope you keep on watching. Like all you, I want all you keep on watching, and keep on commenting. I know sometimes I get upset with some comments, and I might speak out of turn and regret it later.
but that's just my nature, you know what I mean? So you have to either leave it or take it, yeah. And of course, a comment is like a conversation. It's a two-way split. You're saying something to me, and I'm replying back to you. You're saying how you feel, and I'm saying how I feel. And if we have to take them to heart, and and really hold it in, well then we're not the men we think we are. Yeah. I'm the first one, when I know I'm in the wrong, to apologise, and I don't care who I apologise to. If I think yes I was in the wrong, of course I will apologise. But anyway, that's the end of this video, and hope you can see now that the Iconics isn't a bag of nails, or a bag of spanners, as Baggy says. All under the 5p piece. So that's twice. The 0 was under the 5p piece with the Iconics, and also the comparison test. So that's 20 shots against the other two 12 shots. That's not bad. In fact, that is brilliant, you know, especially for a cheap rifle. And as I said, it'd be a good all-rounder for targets and ratting. You can't go wrong with £189. So I'll see you later. Enjoy your day, and they say it's going to be warm today, but at the moment it's still overcast and chilly. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.